Let's think of the 10-minute test. If you had to leave home in an emergency and only take a couple of things with you, what would this be? Could you easily grab your important personal and legal documents in one bag before swinging out the door? Or let us say that there is no emergency but you need a document urgently, as when your son is looking for his birth certificate so he could join a school sports competition, or when you need to check if your fire insurance policy should be renewed, or when the loved one is sick and you need his medical documents, and similar situations. Emergency or not, it's always best to keep your most important personal legal documents within easy reach, yet in a safe place. While you may get copies of these documents if they are lost, it would be cumbersome to do so, for this will take time and expenses. Besides, if your important items are heirlooms or rare souvenir pieces, there is no way to recover these if lost or destroyed. What are these important personal and legal documents? I have identified the top 15 documents, but here in part 1 of this video, I will discuss the first 5. I developed checklists to help you organize and keep them safe. You may or may not have all the items on the list, which I try to make as comprehensive as possible. On the other hand, you may have more items than those on this list, so feel free to expand them to suit your purposes. The title refers to your top personal and legal documents. By this, I mean the top 15 or kinds or categories, so there can be more than one document in every category. For example, the first set of documents refers to civil registry, meaning birth certificates, marriage certificates, and death certificates. As we go along, I will enumerate more documents for each category. To help you navigate through these, I included a checklist at the end of each section for your use. First, I want to list down the top 5 kinds of documents here and then go through each category one by one. Alright, let's go. Number 1, civil registry documents. Number 2, passport and travel documents. Number 3, real estate documents. Number 4, financial documents. Number 5, vehicle registration documents. So let's go to civil registry documents. Now these documents are birth certificates, marriage certificates, death certificates, and records of other incidents that happen in the life of a family. These may include orders or decisions of courts or administrative agencies granting a change of name, correction or cancellation of entries in the civil registry, as when there is an error in the birthplace or spelling of a person's name. It may also include the adoption of a child, legal separation, annulment of marriage, declaration of nullity of marriage, or divorce. These official records have legal implications, giving persons and their relatives legal protection, privileges, and obligations. Birth certificates are needed for school registration, to obtain a driver's license, marriage license, and passport. These are also needed to apply for Social Security and avail of retirement benefits, among others. Persons who are not registered at birth are legally unrecognized because there is no official record of their existence. Birth registration shows a child's identity and nationality. In the web article entitled Importance of Birth Registration on the website of Voices of Youth, a social activist explains that without a birth certificate, children may lack access to services like healthcare and education. A lack of recognition and support will ultimately make the life of children more complex as they grow older. She adds that a simple birth certificate opens up the world of opportunities for a child, such as access to healthcare, education, protection, inheritance, and a permanent record of existence. How about marriage certificates? They prove the legal relationship of husband and wife. It is needed for several reasons, such as when the wife would like to change her surname to that of her husband's in her official documents, such as her driver's license or passport. Also, it is needed for health and life insurance benefits and for tax purposes. In certain countries or states, spouses must transact jointly in buying a house and lot, and copies of marriage certificates may be required as part of the transaction documents. Death certificates are legal records of persons that have died. This is necessary when the deceased left properties and there are persons who are entitled to inherit from him. If the deceased left bank accounts, these cannot be closed without proof of death and the execution of a deed of extrajudicial settlement or court proceedings for the probate of any last will and testament that he may have left. These are also needed before insurance proceeds, death benefits, and funeral benefits can be claimed. Another important effect of the issuance of a death certificate is that the deceased person's name will be removed from the registry of voters after the local civil registrar reports it to the government agency in charge of elections. So here's your checklist for civil registry documents: birth certificates, marriage certificates, death certificates, document proving the change of name, document proving correction or cancellation of entries, adoption decree, legal separation, annulment of marriage decree, declaration of nullity of marriage, and divorce decree. Number 2, passports and travel documents. Passports are universally recognized identification documents issued by your government. They give information not only about your identity, but also your date of birth, place of birth, and nationality. Passports are owned by the issuing government and not by you. If you are an American, this is stated in the passport itself. U.S. law states that a U.S. passport, quote, at all times remains the property of the United States and must be returned to the U.S. government upon demand, close quote. So also, if you are a Philippine citizen, your passport is owned by the government according to the Philippine Passport Act of 1996, that is, Republic Act number 8239. You are a mere possessor and you should not surrender your passport to anyone other than the government. Depending on your country's laws, it may or may not be easy to obtain replacements for lost passports. In some countries, the requirements are quite stringent, requiring clearing periods and police reports. There are instances when a person is not entitled to a passport. In such a case, the government may issue him a travel document allowing him to cross international borders based on a treaty to allow him to go to his home country or to a designated destination. This is usually allowed for one-way travel only. For children who travel abroad with both parents, they need to have their own passports. However, when they travel with one parent only, or when they travel with adults who are not their parents, they need additional documents showing that one or both parents have authorized them to travel with a specific companion. In the United States, this is known as the Minor Travel Consent Form. A sample can be found on the website of the U.S. Passport Service Guide. In addition, there is a Child Medical Consent Form allowing the child's companion to make certain medical decisions if necessary when the child is on travel. More information and a sample form can be found at formswift.com. In the Philippines, the document needed by a minor is known as travel clearance, and it is issued by the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or the DSWD. All the requirements for securing a travel clearance are found on the DSWD website. This is for minors who are traveling with persons who are not their parents. You should also include in this category your other international identification documents such as permanent residency card, also known as green card in the United States, the Hong Kong identification card for Hong Kong residents, and similar other identification cards for those in other countries. You can also include travel-related documents like mileage rewards cards, frequent flyer cards, special travel privilege cards, travel vouchers, vacation certificates, cruise certificates, promotional vacation giveaways, airline tickets, and others. Now here's your checklist: passports, travel documents, minor travel consent form or travel clearance, residency cards, mileage rewards cards, frequent flyer cards, special travel privilege cards, travel vouchers, vacation certificates, cruise certificates, promotional giveaways, and airline tickets. The third category of documents would be real estate documents. Land titles, condominium certificates of title, and similar documents are proof that you own a house, lot, condominium unit, or other real estate. These are documents issued by the appropriate government agency to property owners. The documents given to property owners are owners' duplicates because the originals are kept in the custody of the government official in charge of the registry of property. Tax declarations are issued by the local government unit that has jurisdiction over your house and lot or condominium unit. These contain the assessed value of the property on which annual real property taxes are based. These must be filed together with the official receipts showing payment of real property taxes. There may be other terminologies for these in different jurisdictions, but all these are proof of real estate ownership which you must have copies of. If there are transactions involving real estate such as lease, mortgage, or donation, you would be better off including these in this category because it is easier to find these with related documents. Now here's your checklist: proof of ownership of house and or lot, proof of ownership of condominium unit, proof of payment of real property taxes, lease contracts, mortgage contracts, and deed of donation. The fourth category would be financial documents. This category includes all money-related documents for those items that you use in your day-to-day transactions, such as ATM and credit cards. Since you carry this with you, I advise you to make color photocopies of the front and back and keep these on file. Other documents to be kept under this category are passbooks, checkbooks, bank statements, investment documents such as time deposit certificates and stock certificates, special savings accounts, credit cooperative savings accounts, loan documents, promissory notes, and others. You can also include tax documents such as your returns for income tax, donor's tax, estate or inheritance tax, and real property tax. Now here's your checklist: photocopies of ATM cards, photocopies of credit cards, checkbooks, bank statements, time deposit certificates, stock certificates, special savings accounts, credit cooperative savings accounts, proofs of payment of credit card billings and other accounts, loan documents, promissory notes, income tax return, donor's tax return, estate tax return, inheritance tax return, and others. And the fifth category is vehicle registration documents. These are documents referring to all your registered vehicles such as cars, vans, and motorcycles. This should also include, this should include a deed of sale, chattel mortgage, and promissory notes if any, certificate of registration, official receipt showing the latest registration payment, and your car insurance policy. I also advise you to take a photograph of your vehicle together with a license plate and include this in your files. And for your checklist, we have deed of sale of vehicle, chattel mortgage document, release from mortgage, promissory note, registration certificate, official receipt showing updated registration payment, vehicle insurance policy, photograph of vehicle, and others. So, until here for now. My next video will deal with the next top 5 documents. See you at the next video. To watch more videos that will help you in your studies and in life, subscribe to my channel. If you are a law student, you can read more about civil procedure in my virtual textbook, which you can find at www.profchato.com. And for inspiration, let me share my favorite Bible verse from Micah chapter 6, verse 8. Do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with God. This is Attorney Chato Olivas Quinto, making the law easier to understand.